Sam McCluggage milks 700 cows at Allansford in Western Victoria. He has chosen a very different business model to many, with livestock sales accounting for 25% of his farm income. Sam explains how the system works in his seasonal calving herd.
Had a strategy on the farm to grow our livestock sales portion of the business, so we've spent a lot of time and effort in trying to generate surplus heifer replacements. It gives us two things. It gives us an extra revenue stream for the sale of the surplus, but it also gives us a bigger selection to keep the best replacements for our own herd. Yeah, I think it helps to spread our risk a little bit. When you go through a season, it gives you a buffer with if milk price is a little bit low. The critical thing is that you have a good product and you look after it all the way through, and that you maximise the value when it is sold. Sometimes that's at 7 days old, it could be at weaning age, it could be at 120 kilos, 200 kilos. There's key times along the value of that young animal, and if you can maximise at any given time, understanding your season as well, like if you have a short season or a season like we're about to go into, which we've got high input costs as far as grain price and fodder will be quite expensive. So this will be a year where our surplus will need to be identified younger and probably sold earlier.
Breeding excess stock for sale requires an efficient system. Here, Sam explains some of the tools he uses to make it happen.
We use a lot of sex semen with that, especially early in our program. We made all our maiden heifers to sex semen, and we use sex semen in selected cows in the first 2 rounds of joining. We look to join our maiden heifers at around 370, 375 kilogram average, which is probably maybe 20 kilos higher than what has been normal practice. We really think that we're getting an increased conception rate because of that. With the genotyping, we use that when we get to a point where we need to break the group up, I suppose, or do some selection pressure, and that depends on what market that we're trying to hit with any excess. But it can be used in a lot of different ways. You can also use to identify some really top end stock and maybe look to maximise their value as well at a younger age.
Another tool Sam uses for his breeding program is the Good Bulls app. Here, he focuses on 5 priority traits.
I'm pretty strong on positive percentages for fat and protein, and daughter fertility is quite a big one with us, and good udders and type. We try to use the best value, highest BPI size that we can. What I can say though is I think that a couple of tools that we use in the breeding space, which is the sex semen and the Good Bulls app and genotyping, is that there's application there for every farm. Doesn't have to be full scale on every farm, but there's some things in each of those 3 things that are very applicable to every system.
Being involved in the Improving Herds project has given Sam herd data that shows his breeding program is paying dividends.
All the data that's coming back is telling us quite clearly that the higher BPI portion of our herd is giving us more revenue per cow, and we're getting a little bit more longevity as well by a few months per animal. So to be able to see that some of your decisions that you're making in the breeding space is helping the bottom line as well.